Welcome back. Crystal, big news. What's going on?
Yeah, another bombshell report from Ronan Farrow and Jane Meyer. New allegations surfaced against Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh on Sunday. Deborah Ramirez tells The New Yorker that she attended Yale with Kavanaugh and claims during a party he exposed himself and had her touch him. At least 2 Democratic senators have begun investigating those claims. Judge Kavanaugh issued a statement denying the allegations, calling them uncorroborated and a smear campaign. The White House also issued a statement saying they stand behind him 100%. These accusations came to light as Dr. Christine Blasey Ford prepares to share her story with the Senate Judiciary Committee on Thursday. Meanwhile, the attorney for adult film actress Stormy Daniels says there is another accuser. In a tweet, Michael Avenatti announced, quote, "I represent a woman with credible information regarding Judge Kavanaugh. We will be demanding the opportunity to present testimony to the committee." Wow. As if this story could not have gotten any more wild. But I mean, you remember, Buck, last week I was saying, usually if there's one accuser, there are multiple. It is very unusual that you have a man who would, hold someone down and try to rape them that did nothing else their entire life. So it does not shock me that other women are emerging now.
Yeah, I mean, the question is, what are they going to do now with the timing of the hearings, right? They're supposed to have a hearing on Thursday. There was a lot of what some folks thought was, I should say, some conservatives thought was very bad faith negotiation about how those hearings would take place. It felt like stalling. She claimed fear of flying. She had to drive across the country. This is Christine Ford. Dr. Ford, yes. Christine Ford. And then just after they establish when there'll be a hearing for Dr. Ford, then this allegation gets dropped and it comes out. I mean, we can all say that maybe this is a coincidence, but it feels a bit like there's more to it than that. I don't know what the Republicans are really going to do here, quite honestly. I think that they're in a position where they are going to feel like they have to have these, they have to air this out. I will say anybody who does not show up and testify under oath should be discounted. This is just, that should be the only basis of due process that we have. So people that don't show up should not be heard from in the sense that they can't be accounted for in the nomination process. But maybe she'll show up too. Maybe they'll extend this even further.
Well, part of the deal with this too is, there's been such a rush on the Republican side. We have to get this done. We have to have the vote. We've got to get them set. There's still more than a month before the midterm elections. And even after that, there's a lame duck session where regardless of what happens in the midterms, Republicans could still jam something through. So there is absolutely no reason. If you're confident that this is just some elaborate left-wing smear campaign, that there's nothing to the allegations, there is no reason why there isn't time to bring in witnesses, to have the FBI investigate, to actually try to get to the truth. And I'll tell you, at this point, the person who should be more interested in that than anyone else is Judge Kavanaugh. I mean, if he really is telling the truth here, then he should have nothing to hide. He should welcome an investigation to clear his name.
Well, he's already gone under oath and completely denied this under penalty of perjury, 1001. He can go to prison for 5 years. So the other people that we're talking about here have not done that. In fact, the second accuser spent 6 days conferring with her lawyers to figure out what she can remember from what she says was an incredibly drunken incident that she can only remember parts of anyway, which is people look at that like, why does it take 6 days conferring with lawyers to figure out something that obviously was very traumatic by her own telling?
Also, I mean, she's watching what's happened with Dr. Ford. This has not been fun for her. She's faced death threats. She's had to move her family. I mean, it's been a mess. And so she really, I'm sure, had to also grapple with whether she wanted to put herself through that.
Do you think the hearing's going to happen Wednesday, by the way, or you think they push it back?
I think they're going to have to push it back. I mean, I think there's a good chance that they're going to have to pull his nomination because especially we'll see what Michael Avenatti has. I mean, that's a wild card. He says he represents not only a victim, but also a group of people with information about Mark Judge and Judge Kavanaugh in high school. So we'll see.
We'll have to see.
We'll see.
There's always Amy Coney Barrett. 2 weeks into his role, Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein may have proposed recording President Trump in order to invoke the 25th Amendment. According to the New York Times, Rosenstein suggested the move after the firing of former FBI Director James Comey last year. The Times reports he talked about recording Trump to expose the chaos of the administration. Rosenstein denies ever considering recording Trump or spearheading an effort to remove him from office. Senior Republican lawmakers are calling for an investigation into Rosenstein and are advising President Trump not to fire the Deputy Attorney General until the allegations against him are thoroughly investigated. Crystal, people saw this, and there was a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings. First of all, in a sense, it is further confirmation of the president does not like the term deep state, so we won't. I think soft coup is now the preferred nomenclature among conservatives.
That's what we're going with.
So it's further evidence of elements within the bureaucracy that are trying to do pretty extreme things in order to oppose Trump.
Yeah.
So there's that piece of it. But then you got other conservatives who are saying this is baiting the president into firing Rosenstein as this thing winds down, because they're not going to have anything on collusion at the end of it. They may have other things, and they've already got other things, but on collusion they got nothing. So if you fire Rosenstein, you cause a mess. I have a hard time believing a deputy attorney general could say that he was going to wear a wire seriously, meaning that not in jest, which is what's said about the President of the United States. I have a hard time with that.
And there was some other reporting saying that it was said in jest. The New York Times is standing by the reporting that this was a serious comment that was made. I mean, listen, at a certain point, though, when you have the number of former and current Trump administration people who have all talked about the 25th Amendment, you have to go, maybe this isn't so much about those people as it is about the capabilities of this president.
So I just want to know, if the 25th Amendment is being discussed, we've had so many departures from the administration. Why hasn't a single person other than Omarosa, come out and said, yeah, that this happened, I'm on the record? Not one person. Maybe. I'm not saying that means it's not true. It just strikes me as a little...
it's a good question. And maybe they just don't want the attention. Maybe they don't think it's helpful. I have no idea. But it seems pretty credible that there has been some discussion of that, which, like I said, I think speaks to the chaos within this administration and the concern over what this president is doing to the country.
I know.
Somebody as sober-minded as Rod Rosenstein, who seems to
I'm
me
getting
to be
tired
a
of this
pretty
awesome
straight
economy.
shooter.
I want to redistribute some wealth. As Judge Brett Kavanaugh prepares to face his accuser, we get perspective from someone who strategized with another Supreme Court nominee some years ago for a similar hearing.
Former aide to Justice Clarence Thomas, Armstrong Williams, gives some historical context to the nomination process and shares memories of Anita Hill's testimony and Judge Thomas's rebuttal. That is going to be very interesting just after this.